DeepSeek has officially released DeepSeek V4 Pro, the production version of its flagship V4 Pro model, after several months in preview. The release is attracting attention not simply because it is another new AI model, but because it highlights how quickly the competition is moving toward AI systems that can handle complex, multi-step tasks rather than simply generate answers. DeepSeek says the new version brings significant improvements to AI agent capabilities, and it is available through its web, app, and API platforms. One of the biggest areas of interest is agentic AI. Instead of treating an AI model as a chatbot that responds once to a prompt, agent-oriented systems are designed to work through longer sequences of tasks, use tools, interact with software, and complete coding or research workflows. Independent benchmark results indicate that V4 Pro 0813 improved substantially over the earlier preview version in several coding and agent benchmarks, although results vary considerably depending on the task. This makes the model particularly relevant to developers who are interested in AI that can do more than answer questions. Another reason people are watching DeepSeek is its open weights approach and cost structure. The V4 Pro family uses a mixture of experts architecture with a very large total parameter count while activating only a portion of those parameters for individual tasks. Earlier reporting placed the architecture at roughly 1.6 trillion total parameters and 49 billion active parameters, with a context window of up to 1 million tokens. DeepSeek's approach is important because it challenges the assumption that only a small number of heavily closed, extremely expensive models can compete at the frontier of AI capability. However, the story is more complicated than simply calling V4 Pro a new AI king. Early independent evaluations have produced a mixed picture. Some tests show strong improvements, particularly in coding, tool use, and cybersecurity-related tasks, while other assessments suggest that it still trails the strongest frontier models in several areas. That distinction matters because benchmark leadership can depend heavily on the specific task, evaluation methodology, and model configuration. The pricing change is another major reason for the attention surrounding this release. DeepSeek initially became famous partly because of extremely low API costs, but V4 Pro's new pricing is substantially higher than the company's earlier V4 pricing and introduces separate peak and off-peak rates. Reuters reported that the new V4 Pro rate is $1.32 per million input tokens and $3.96 per million output tokens, while DeepSeek's pricing changes can be considerably larger compared with the company's earlier rates. Even after the increase, the model remains relatively inexpensive compared with several competing frontier models. That creates an interesting tension around V4 Pro. DeepSeek is no longer competing purely on being cheap. It is increasingly competing on the combination of capability, efficiency, open weights, developer accessibility, and agent performance. The price increases also suggest that operating powerful AI models at scale has significant infrastructure costs, even for companies known for efficiency. Ultimately, the reason everyone is interested in DeepSeek V4 Pro is less about whether it beats every rival on every benchmark, and more about what its release says about the direction of the AI industry. The competition is shifting from simply building larger chatbots toward creating models that can reason, code, use tools, and operate as agents. DeepSeek's latest release shows that this race is becoming increasingly competitive, and that the gap between leading AI companies may be measured not only by raw intelligence, but also by efficiency, openness, pricing, and how effectively models can perform useful real-world work.